What's going on, everyone? This is the Popcorn Heroes show. I am Armando. With me, as always, is Pedro.
Hello.
Back for the first time, Mike.
Hey.
And God's plan, Orlando.
Yo.
I don't know what's going on right now.
I got the giggles, man. I'm sorry. I got the giggles.
Oh, man. And here I thought Mike was going to get the giggles.
No, I'm perfectly fine.
It's not quarantine anymore. We're in phase 3, right, Mike?
Phase 3, baby.
We popping bottles now.
Clapping cheeks.
That's it, man.
I can't believe you guys haven't been out. Well, except for Orlando.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Orlando has plans in 2 weeks from now.
That's true.
I haven't been out. What does phase 3 mean, though, technically?
That means everybody getting the Rona. What you talking about? What does it mean? That's just for everybody.
Essentially. Phase 3 means like more places are open, more public places. So you'll have
more public
bars.
places. You don't have to have a mask in public anymore. Restaurants can open to 100% as long as people can still be 6 feet away from each other. Well, yeah, it's just normal.
So wait, don't we still have like a rise in cases though?
No, we're decreasing in cases.
We're decreasing, but I think the last few days we've been increasing.
Oh, I haven't seen the last few days.
Yeah.
Well, increasing after they opened up, that makes sense.
But it wouldn't make sense though, because wouldn't it take 2 weeks for the thing to kick in?
Actually, yeah, you're right. It takes 2 weeks before we'll see the results.
So I think these results must be from the last Labor Day, right? That we had.
Could be.
2 weeks ago.
That would make sense.
Seeing stuff popping up. Anyways, this episode is not about the Ronas.
Damn, we were talking about this the whole fucking episode. Shit.
This is a B-side. That's it, guys. We're done. We're actually talking about the Xbox and PS5 consoles.
Yeah.
We finally know the prices of each console, what each console is, what each console does, what it brings about, and we also have I would say, one of the blockbuster news, and I think we could start off at that point. Xbox buying the parent company, ZeniMax Media, I think it's called, which is the holder of all Bethesda holdings. So now,
that's right.
Xbox is the proud owner of anything that Bethesda has ever done, which is insane.
Which is crazy, because you get your Elder Scrolls, aka everyone knows that it's Skyrim, and then you get your Fallouts.
Yo,
amongst many. That's pretty big.
Is it just me, or did they pay too much?
Oh, they are grossly overpaid.
Absolutely.
How much?
7.5, I think, billion.
Oh, billion.
Yeah. And to compare that, Star Wars was only 4 billion. So
yo, grossly overpaid. Oh my lord!
Like, have you played Fallout 4? Like, that looks like a PS3 game. Like, have you played Fallout 76? Like,
yeah, they should have kept that money. They should have kept that money and created a better engine. But
that's true.
Well.
Man, that would have been a good thing to do.
I mean, this is regardless of Xbox. This is all good news for Bethesda. I mean, I can't imagine their games decreasing in quality after this buy.
Right. Agreed.
And plus, they have id Tech now, which is the engine that runs on what is the name of that game? Doom. So maybe maybe Microsoft forces them to start using the Doom engine.
True. It's their engine.
I mean,
it's their engine. All right.
I mean, that is true, but I mean,
they own ID Software or ID whatever they call.
Yeah, they own Doom, Dishonored.
I mean, so I have we brought up Doom. I have a question. So obviously, 343 has helmed the Halo series since Bungie has left, and obviously it's been on a decline in terms of quality. What do you guys think about id taking it over? Like, let's say Halo Infinite comes out and it's not as good as people think it would be, and then it's like, all right, make a Halo. Like, I played Doom, and it doesn't play like Halo. It's more of an arcadey, very fast, but it definitely has somewhat of the skeleton of Halo, a little bit, if that makes sense. Like, I could definitely see like a Halo coming out of this, of id, and being like phenomenal, at least gameplay wise.
Yeah, I could see id doing Halo, or I could see 343 using the id engine to make Halo. If you think about it,
visually I think it looks better, so I think that would be the way to go. Id's always had a lot of success with that engine. Their games always, at the very least, look top notch.
Oh yeah, they look great, man. So I could see either Doom, which is id, taking over, or at least trying out their id Software doing at least a Halo game, or a maybe not a main series, maybe a spin-off to see what they could do with it. Yeah. Or I could just see 343 using id Tech, which is the engine that runs Doom. So I mean, I if I was Microsoft, I'll make Bethesda proper use the id engine.
Yeah, and I think this also is what goes alongside, like, okay, 343 uses id Tech, and then whatever engine the new Fable game is running on, maybe Bethesda can use that for the new Fallout game, because obviously whatever engine they use for Fallout is trash.
Yeah. It's been the same one since forever. So
yes.
Terrible.
So I mean, I don't know what engine they're using for Fable 4, but obviously if it looks like that trailer looks good. I mean, I'm guessing, I don't think they're going to disappoint, at least visually.
They're using an Unreal Engine.
Oh, okay.
Unreal
So
Engine,
makes sense.
Okay.
Unreal Engine 4.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, Microsoft doesn't own that, but I mean, still, like, maybe, I think Bethesda has primarily used their own engines. Obviously, like, why go and do that when you have your own stuff? But now with Microsoft owning you, it's like, all right, now you don't call that shot. You gotta get, like, Fallout 4 is a little bit dated. Fallout 76 is a bit dated. Like, we can't have that same mistake for the next Fallout, for the next Elder Scrolls, for the next Starfield. So, we're gonna pay you guys to use Unreal Engine 4, which time and time again it's proven to look amazing. So,
yeah, I see here that Wolfenstein 2, Wolfenstein Youngblood, and Cyberpilot all use id Tech. Makes sense.
And it looks great, so yeah, I can see that. It just runs so smooth.
Yeah, it does.
Because they're very fast-paced games, very run and gun. Yeah. So you have to make sure everything loads quickly.
But I guess that engine doesn't obviously translate to RPGs. Obviously, it doesn't look like it. That engine is most probably primarily made for shooters. So it doesn't seem like they haven't really done an RPG yet on id Tech.
They could, but I guess it won't push it to the limit like everything else does. But they could make one just fine.
I think, as far as I know, the id Tech is very flexible. And very malleable, so I think they could use it on anything.
I mean, then it's weird that they haven't yet, or who knows? Maybe they were planning on doing Elder Scrolls 5 on it, and Starfield on it.
Doom Eternal is running on id Tech engines, id Tech iteration 7.
Yeah.
id Tech 6 was Doom, Wolfenstein 2, Youngblood. And id Tech 5, who ran id Tech? Rage, Wolfenstein New Order, The Devil Within, Dishonored 2, The Devil Within 2.
Rage, the bootleg Borderlands.
Yeah, pretty much. It's weird though, because when you think about this buy, Bethesda is literally a top-notch studio, but in recent years except for the exception of Doom Eternal, it's been a little bit of a decline. Like Wolfenstein Youngblood didn't really do well. Rage 2,
but they were like smaller games. They weren't like AAA games. I think they came out for like $20 or something like that.
I mean, yeah, but Rage 2 didn't do well.
Would you say Fallout 4 was a success?
Yes, I think so. Sure. I think commercially for sure, but not. I think critically. I think critically it's probably standing like at 80 or 90 something, Metacritic wise. But still though, that when you look at that game, I think that game came around a time where, like, we still didn't see the power of like the new tech in terms of like new consoles, and then The Witcher came out, and it was like, all right, your RPG can't be like this shitty. So I think when it came out, it was fine for its time, but then looking back at it, you're like, this is just Fallout 3 with a slightly better paint, and that's not good enough in like anymore in terms of an RPG. That's not gonna cut it no more.
Yeah.
So
that's true. And what makes this also crazy is now they have Bethesda, which created a Fallout 4, right? The Fallout series.
Yeah.
And now they have the what's the other one? The one who created
Obsidian.
Outer Worlds?
Obsidian.
So now they have
Obsidian.
Fallout, the two main people who created who had Fallout series within the game, which is pretty crazy now. Two big RPG studios in their grasp. I find that very interesting.
I haven't played that one yet. I've been meaning to. I hear really good things.
Yeah, I mean, this just. So I just looked up, man. Fallout 4 got an 88 Metacritic. So yeah, I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. So that's pretty good.
It did good.
It did good, but
I guess the complaints was graphically, right?
I think
Prey was probably one of their last ones. I have here Prey and The Evil Within. That was their last series. 2017.
Wait, whose last series?
I'm looking at Bethesda. I don't know. Rage was 2019.
No, dude, okay. You got Doom. Doom is their last game that they came out with.
Yeah. Doom said they broke it up by series, so it was confusing because it's an alphabetical. Yeah, Doom does say present, so I guess that one's fine.
Yeah, that one's new.
Yeah, Doom.
I mean,
Doom.
Yeah, dude. Like at this point, I would still say like comparing the two now that Bethesda bought. I mean, so Xbox bought Bethesda. I would still say Sony quality wise has better games.
Yeah.
In terms of the way it looks, the way it runs, story, Sony is just killing it on almost every avenue. But the Xbox currently now with this buy has
the most potential.
And it has pedigree. It has recognition. Like, say what you want about Spider-Man for PS4, it's an amazing game, but Elder Scrolls is fucking Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
God of War is better than any Elder Scrolls game I ever played, but fucking Fallout is Fallout. You hear that quote, "War never changes," and people lose their fucking mind. So it's just they have an icon, right now in their grasp, like this, and at the end of the day, I don't think Xbox is. I think I'm calling it. This is gonna be their last console.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're gonna make a console after this.
I think they just said they're still gonna be making consoles.
Nah, they're not, dude. They're not. If they make a console after this console, I mean, like, they can make a smaller Xbox One Series X or something, or a slim version. But I think this is their last console generation.
So,
according to Phil Spencer's, Series X will not be their last console, but they could do what? What do they have? The other series?
S.
That'll probably be like right after it.
I just think at this point it's just like you're clearly not in it for consoles. Like, even their whole business strategy is like, okay, we bought Bethesda, but some games are still gonna be everywhere, and it'd be like case by case basis.
Damn. Yeah, he literally said this a couple of days ago. It will definitely not be the last console. They don't see cloud gaming superseding downloads and physical discs within the next few years. Well, I mean, that makes sense.
I don't think so either. Well, actually,
within the next few years makes sense. Now, another decade from now, that's where we'll see what really happens.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying, like, in the next consoles are gonna come out. The next generation will be, if there is another generation, it will be in
in the cloud.
26, 27. And at that time, I just think, because at this point, you're not selling Xbox anymore. You're selling Game Pass.
Yeah, they're feeding that beast of Game Pass. All this feeds the Game Pass.
All of this is, and even the talk about buying Bethesda, it's just like, oh, well, Deathloop and Ghostwire are still coming to PS5. Don't worry about that. And some games are still coming.
Agreements already.
Right, and some games are still going to come to PS5. And I think what they're going to do is, because at the end of the day, like, it's a business. They're not fucking dumb. They're going to release Elder Scrolls and Starfield on PS5. Like, it's going to happen. They have to. Yeah. Because they paid $7 billion. And, you know, at the end of the day, we don't know what these consoles are going to do, but Sony's going to outsell Microsoft, I think. I think they're going to outsell Microsoft again.
This value proposition they have now, like, if you're a big RPG fan, why would you get a PlayStation?
But the thing is that
that's not who they're appealing to, though.
There are more people into other games than RPGs. RPGs is more of like a niche.
Yeah, but you can still play that on Xbox.
What I think their strategy is because the thing is, I don't think that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're gonna make those games exclusive. So it's like, okay, you can play them on PS5.
I'm not saying about exclusivity. I'm talking about come to Game Pass, pay $12 a month, $10 a month, and you could play all these games day one.
Right.
Or you could be on PlayStation, pay $70 for it.
Right.
What do you want?
But coming to Game Pass doesn't mean
there's more of a value there.
Coming to Game Pass doesn't mean buy a console anymore. xCloud you can stream your game on your laptop. You can stream your game on your phone. You can stream your game on your computer. You no longer need to buy a console. I think they're selling you Game Pass now.
I don't think it'll run well though.
It depends on your connection, and that's on the case by case basis for people.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's a selling point. You know, hey, get on xCloud. I don't think that's the selling point. I think it's an additive to getting a Game Pass. I think the selling point here is, why would you spend $70 on a game when you could give us $10 a month and pay that game and 200 other games or whatever else that they have on their Game Pass.
I agree. I think what they're gonna do is this is my prediction. I think their thought process is let's say you don't have an Xbox, which a lot of people don't. You get Game Pass on your computer or you get it on your Android device, and maybe it runs decent but not great. But that's enough to convince you, like, oh shit, you know what? Elder Scrolls is on here. All the Fallout games are on here. EA Pass is on here now. Okay, this runs decent. Let me just fucking buy the console, and now I can play the games with no problem. I think Game Pass is like the knock on the door, and then once you open it, the Xbox comes in with it. You know, like, you get Game Pass, you try it out, you're like, fuck it, let me just buy a console then. And I think eventually, that's why I'm saying eventually, I don't think they're going to have a console. I think eventually it's going to be Game Pass. And that's why I'm saying I do think that they're going to have Elder Scrolls, like you said, and Starfield on PS5, because they have to make their money back.
They will. And they'll have Fallout on PlayStation 2 with whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
Those are series that have already been coming out on all systems. They're not going to stop that. Maybe anything new they make will be exclusive. But
so maybe Starfield then.
Maybe, probably, but I don't think so. I wouldn't think Starfield.
That's not a good idea because that's a brand new IP, and they're gonna risk it by making it exclusive.
No, they wouldn't. And plus, it's already been announced, and everybody's excited about it. They're not gonna wall that off. But I think anything that gets created from now on will be walled off if it's not an existing IP.
I mean, if that's the case, you're not gonna see a Bethesda Xbox exclusive until probably 2023.
That's fine. They're still working on Starfield, and they're gonna, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna be working on Fallout 4, on Fallout 5.
So halfway into their generational cycle, is when they start doing it.
You gotta play the long game, dude. And regardless, they have how many studios? Like 24, 25 studios now under their care. That's fucking
crazy.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
you know, they have games. They'll potentially have 2 games there, like 2 to 3 games a year, exclusive on Xbox.
Yeah,
starting in like 2 years from now.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what they're doing, at least with Bethesda, is that you know, these games are super long, so you come in for Game Pass, but you're not gonna beat Elder Scrolls or Fallout in a month unless you're like that much of a hardcore gamer. Like the average person fucking has a life. Like you know, like the average person works.
Yeah, man. You gotta think about Mike, man. Mike gotta go to the clubs. Gotta go to the office.
Mike,
when you hit phase 3, you gotta be out there. Yeah,
phase 3, you gotta be popping, man.
Mike is slinging dick. He don't got time to be playing Fallout. Like, you know, so I think you get in for those games. Obviously, they make you stay because they're so fucking long. And then once you're there, like, all right, let me try something else. And then you guys just use that service. I want to ask you guys a question. Has this sold you on buying an Xbox?
Nah.
I mean, maybe. I think Orlando, if me and you split it, I'm down. Let's get it, dude. Right now.
So it hasn't sold you on buying an Xbox. It sold y'all as a group.
Yeah, I mean,
as a unit.
Because the thing is, I'm a loyal PlayStation fanboy. You know, my primary console will always be PlayStation, and Xbox would probably be the side thing I have, and you know, just to play their first party titles, just to play them out, you know, whatever it is. But for me, I wouldn't commit to having an Xbox and a PlayStation because I know I'm not gonna play it that often. So if me and Orlando split it, Orlando loves Xbox. He's more of like, oh, I don't care where I play as long as I play type of person. And I'm pretty sure he'll have it more than I would have, but I don't mind making that investment with him, you know? I'm down to split it. What about you, Mike?
Nah, hell no. Xbox? Actually, nah, they got Game Pass. Fuck that.
Yeah, you could just get the cheaper console. $300. It's a Switch right there.
Nah, man. I could just wait for xCloud to be working the way it should, and then I'm good.
What about you, Orlando? I mean, Pedro.
I'm not sold on it. I'll just play Game Pass on the PC.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna propose, Pedro. You have Game Pass on the PC.
I don't. I canceled that shit a long time ago.
Oh, okay. So I want to get Game Pass for Ultimate eventually. Not anytime soon, but eventually, because like shit's coming out and you have EA Play and all that other shit. We could split it, but obviously, I guess you gotta play with my account, and that's it.
And we can't play at the same time.
I think we can.
That sounds unlikely.
That sounds
I'm
very
sure once
unlikely.
you log in with one, once you logged in,
yeah,
you can probably only be logged in with one account.
I mean, I don't even, but I don't think we're gonna run into that problem though.
Where 2 people want to play a game at the same time? That never happens in life.
I don't think we're gonna run into that problem much though.
That is
honestly
ridiculously generous.
Yeah, too generous. I have
one at a time. I found it here. One at a time.
There you go. I have Game Pass right now.
The pass itself can be shared, but you can't play together.
Yeah, I don't even think you could be logged in at the same time. Even like if you're not, 2 people aren't playing.
Oh wait,
just to like see shit or whatever.
Armando, you have Game Pass now. Wait, on for your laptop?
Yeah, I have it for my laptop because they have Crusader Kings 3, and been obsessed with it. It's a new game that came out 2 weeks ago. And,
it got good reviews.
Been playing that shit nonstop, playing it every day. Very great game.
Are you sold on Game Pass?
Well, I just downloaded. Yeah, I've been sold on Game Pass. Like the value proposition of Game Pass is insane. Like you play all these games, you could download it. I don't know. It's just it's too much of a good deal.
Yeah, it's undeniable.
Yeah,
it is
big time.
And
I agree.
so I saw that it was like I've always wanted to get Crusader Kings. I just never like Crusader Kings 2 has so much DLC. I didn't even know where to start, so I never bought it. So when I saw that Crusader Kings 3 came out 2 weeks ago, and then I saw it was on Game Pass, I'm like, oh shit, I get to try it out for $1. Fuck that, I'm doing that shit. So I bought it like about a week ago, and I logged in, I created my thing, put my credit card, and that's it. I was in, and it gave me all the entire library they have of games. And then I went to Crusader Kings. I downloaded it, and that's it. It's very simple.
You have a good laptop. You have a good laptop to be running PC games.
Yeah. The one I have is pretty decent, but plus the Crusader Kings is not really it's not graphic intensive game. It's more of a background AI intensive game in that sense. It's not graphically intensive. But it's been working really well. It plays well. It looks good. Yeah. Been having a blast. Taking over.
Never heard of this game.
Yeah, I don't think you'll like it, Mike. It's too slow, man. It's too slow.
It has a Civilization type vibe, right?
I never liked Civilization.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go then.
But this is more like a role-playing Civilization type of thing, where you create a dynasty. You start somewhere, and then you just build up your kingdom. You take over land, you have kids, and then you get married. And then when you die, you play as your kid, and then you continue to build up the dynasty. And then when you die, you play as your, kid, and you keep going down the line.
So you just keep dying and playing as kids?
Yeah, you keep dying and playing as your kids.
Yeah, the game never ends.
Yeah, unless your whole entire dynasty dies, and then that's it. You're done.
Okay.
It's pretty
Makes
cool.
sense.
It's very entertaining. Anyways, so now that we know that Xbox Game Pass is fucking amazing value, has all this crazy
Definitely.
shit, what do you guys think about the boxes? Now we all know the prices. Xbox, when the new Xbox comes out, they will essentially have 4 SKUs. They'll have the Xbox One X, Xbox S. They'll have the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S. They will essentially have 4 different Xboxes. The 2 newest ones, the Series X and the Series S, are 2 completely different consoles. So Orlando, you want to talk about that? I know you were itching to talk about that.
So isn't it 3? Are they only gonna have 3 consoles out? They're gonna have the Xbox One S, and then the Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series S. That's 3.
They're not doing the One S anymore.
They're not
doing
doing
the One X?
anything though.
Yeah, they're canceling the digital, the all digital one. The one that
all digital's gone. It's been gone.
And they're canceling the Xbox One X.
Let's see, Xbox One X.
They're canceling.
Go ahead, keep talking.
They're
Either
canceling
way, though, in all honesty, the only one that's even worth getting is the Series X. If you're gonna go next gen, you might as well go all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, there's no purpose to get the other ones.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. Especially when you look at like the hard drive space, you're like,
yeah,
they're selling like the memory for like $250.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so I buy the Series S for $300, and then if I want more memory, I gotta pay $200, like $270 or something like that. I might as well just buy an Xbox One X and get that.
Yeah. 100%.
Get that bump in terms of hard drive.
Xbox One X has been discontinued.
Right.
The digital one has been
SKUs.
discontinued, and the S is the only one that's still gonna get made.
Right, the current one, and then the 2 new consoles. So you have 3 consoles. I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
I have the original Xbox One X. No, Xbox One. Jesus Christ, fucking marketing. Like, just give me numbers, bro.
Yeah,
so fucking
their marketing
annoying.
was fucking awful.
Supposedly, people bought the Xbox One X during the pre-order debacle that they had, because it's confusing. It's fucking confusing.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Good job, losers.
Yeah. I mean, that's on them, honestly, but it doesn't even look like the same console. Like, yo, like, calm it down and look at what you're buying before you press. Before you
What
click
it
on
was, let's be honest, it was parents. The kids were like, Mom, Dad, I want the Xbox Series X. And they're like, oh, okay. They log in and they go, okay. The X, I got it. Boom. Done. I got it. Christmas is saved. And then they're like, oh, shit.
Can you imagine ordering an Xbox One X with, what did that cost, like $400, and then realizing the next gen console is like $100 more? Like that's crazy. But I don't know, when it comes to these consoles, like I said, they're gonna sell out, all of them. The Xbox One X, Series X and S, and the PS5 are gonna sell out. I'm not at this point, like, this is like so interesting because all 3 console manufacturers are doing, they're marching to the beat of their own drum, and it's great. Like, Switch is doing their own shit. They don't care about online.
They don't care about anyone.
They don't care about shit. Oh, you want Mario? Yeah, you got into March. You buy it or you don't. Like,
yeah. Pretty much. And they're like, while you wait, here is 3 other Marios that we remastered, quote unquote.
Yeah, so I mean, every console manufacturer is marching to the beat of their own drum, and it's fucking fascinating because nobody's copying anybody. Everyone's doing their own thing. So,
and it also doesn't even feel like, I know we keep saying console war and we keep comparing them, but it really doesn't even feel like a console war anymore. It's just kind of like, yeah, man, here's my shit. The only thing that's war-like about it is the prices, where they were getting a little competitive with that. But besides that, you're kind of just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And
it is interesting.
I'm more the mind that like I'm rooting for Xbox just because they're just so consumer friendly, and I guess I do believe that they're not gonna make another console. Like, that's just like investor talk. That's just like, don't worry, like, keep investing in us, we're gonna be fine. I think they're gonna be a publisher or a Netflix kind of thing. They're doing what Netflix did, dude. Netflix realized that they can't keep paying for these fucking movies and rights and shit, and so they made their own content. Xbox bought Bethesda, and eventually you're gonna get more indie games coming to the Game Pass and more Xbox One games coming to Game Pass. And so you're gonna get more of that, and why? Because, dude, they have 26 studios. They don't need to fucking pay Ubisoft for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They could just put another game on their Game Pass, and then you just stay because it's convenient. Like, that's what they're doing. They're trying to get that model in. That's why they bought Bethesda. That's their end goal. And even today, they announced that Steve from Minecraft is going to be on Smash Bros.
Yeah, I saw that.
Y'all telling me that
right there.
Y'all telling me that Game Pass ain't gonna come to Switch? Because Phil said it's coming like years ago. He said they're working on it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised that if it goes on the Switch.
There definitely will be, obviously with a limited catalog, but a version of that is going to be there.
Yeah, like, you know,
too many partnerships.
If the money's right, I mean, I don't know, but if Sony is willing to do it, Game Pass on PS5. What do you guys think?
It'll be a cold day in hell before Sony say yes to that.
Yeah, get out of here. They didn't even want crossplay or any of that shit. They're fucking nuts.
The only reason Sony will let Xbox get on it if Xbox drops out of the console war, like you said, Orlando. If Xbox drops out, fuck yeah, they will. Like,
if Xbox pulls a Sega,
yeah, that's the only way they'll let Xbox in on their console. If they're not, if they don't have consoles themselves, and then they'll be the only ones left, and they'll allow anything at that point.
Yeah, Sony's like kind of like Apple when it comes to that. They don't want nobody else shit on their shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember even even EA Play took a minute to come to PlayStation, because I remember it being on Xbox, and then Sony was like, "Nah, we don't want that service on our."
We have PS Now. Why do you want EA Play?
Yeah. Here, and back then the PS Now was garbage. So, yeah.
You still pay for PS Now, Mike?
No, I got my brothers.
Nice. Straight fun. What do you think about it, Mike? How do you think about that service? Should it be wrapped up into PlayStation Plus?
That would be amazing, but they're not gonna do that shit. In a perfect world, yeah, they would be at the very least copying some of what the Game Pass does, even if they don't have like all the AAA first party titles, or they do like a time thing like for the first year or whatever. Overall, that's what they should be doing. But I think it's still a good value. I still have like a bunch of shit I've added to my list from PS Now that I have to play.
How well does it work?
For the most part, most of the games are good. I think the only game I've ever had an issue with was Control. Control, sometimes that shit would slow down like crazy.
But you're streaming the games, or are you downloading these games? What are you playing, basically? Tell us what you've been playing.
It depends. I usually stream them at first just to see if I like it, and then I'll download it. What am I playing right now? Not Mirror's Edge. Shit, what am I playing? Oh, Just Cause 4. I mean, it runs smooth, fine. I've never had an issue with slowdown.
Yeah, and you're streaming that game?
I was streaming it maybe for like the first 10 hours.
Wow.
And after I was like, all right, I'll download it.
Yeah, I mean, I hear people complaining on different podcasts about the quality of it, and I'm just like, yo, where do you live? Like, how is your internet?
Yeah.
Because it really isn't that bad. Like, it really isn't like as bad as people say. But like, I'm getting like 80 megs per second, so I don't know what.
Is it a problem with input lag?
And
no?
You know what? I'm not that like aware of that kind of shit. Like, I really am not. Like the people that complain about that shit are just so into the weeds that I'm just like, yo, you're complaining about like the dumbest shit to me. Like a millisecond or a fraction, I don't notice it.
The only time I've ever noticed input lag was probably when I first started streaming Control, and it was barely there.
Yeah, and Control, even after you download it, still it doesn't run.
Yeah, there's something about Control. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so it's just Control as a game just doesn't run well.
It's a game that probably should have never been on the PS4. It probably played better once it's on the PS5.
Yeah, once I do all the.
I'm trying to think of when I tried the PlayStation Now. It was before God of War came out. The newest God of War. And I remember I was trying to play all the God of Wars, but when I got to Ascension, which was the one past 3, that one was lagging, and I'm like, oof, this shit is weird. But then I ended up getting PlayStation Now again for a month, and I played like Mirror's Edge and like Heavenly Sword and all of these like fast-paced games, and there was no problem whatsoever. So maybe they just ended up fixing it, or maybe I just got better internet, because I didn't see a single problem with any of those other games.
Yeah, I first played PlayStation Now when that was like the original one, when they came out with like the first beta. Yeah, that shit was laggy. That shit looked horrible.
It was bad.
That was some of the worst gameplay I've ever seen.
It was bad because it would buffer mid game. It would like pause your game for you, and then you'll have to wait. And I'm just like, all right, what the fuck? You just paused my game for me. Yeah.
Yeah, they've come so far since then. It's definitely worth it now.
Yeah, I agree.
And now they're currently using Microsoft Azure servers. After they signed the deal.
Are they using Azure servers, or are they still using Gaikai? I could have sworn they were still using Gaikai.
Well, remember, Gaikai is the software, the technology that makes it happen. But you still have to host all these things somewhere. And they have to run off the servers. And they're using Azure servers.
I remember they made a partnership, but I didn't know that like came into effect.
That's what it was. It was for the server use.
Right, I understand that.
Instead of using Amazon or something like that, they're using Microsoft servers now.
Right, I just didn't know if it came into effect, but that's fine. Back to like the console stuff. Like like I don't know, Xbox at the end of the day, like, so one of the talking points between the two consoles is like going over to next gen. You know, like, is my save gonna transfer? Do I get backward compatibility? All this other stuff. Obviously, Xbox has like marketed smart delivery. So most games, if you buy them on Xbox One, you're gonna be able to play them through smart delivery on Xbox Series X or S, and your saves are fine. The game's gonna be fine. If anything, there might be some graphical enhancements if the game allows it. And one of the things that I was listening to today is like Yakuza. They're coming out with a new game, and you could buy on PS4 and get upgraded to PS5, but then your save doesn't transfer over.
Yeah,
and that's not the case for the Xbox. So it's just like
so stupid.
It's like what's happening? Is it like is it the infrastructure of how these consoles are communicating? Like how are you not getting this right? I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I heard that saving issue for another game. I can't remember the game right now, but it was the same thing. And I thought to myself, Spider-Man.
Yeah,
there you go.
Spider-Man has the same problem.
Yeah, they're saying Spider-Man isn't going to carry over. I'm just like, that's dumb. And then now that you mentioned Yakuza, it's like, come on, you're trying to get, because the Yakuza game right now is at like a jumping point. It's like a perfect jumping point because it's a total revamp, and it's like you want to get everyone in as much as possible, so you can.
Yeah,
bring
and
more people into the
Yakuza
franchise.
Is coming to Xbox first, so I'm not sure if that was a deal they made or there's something just going on in terms of. Well, it's coming to Xbox. I think it's coming to PS4 and everything else at the same time, but PS5 is getting later. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I can't really speak on that entirely, but I just know it's coming later to PS5 as opposed to Xbox Series.
I don't see that game being one that I would want to play for the 5. I'd rather get that game for the 4. It doesn't seem like it's graphically...
Which one?
Yeah, Yakuza 7.
Oh.
I've seen gameplay for it already for like PC, and I'm like, the 4's
But
fine.
still, it just like at the end of the day, like Sony is just out here with like so much confidence and bravado of like, we're good. You bought all our consoles. You bought all our consoles. You bought our games. We don't gotta do shit. We don't have to give you a Game Pass kind of service. We don't have to give you. We don't have to make all our games backwards compatible. We don't have to make sure that you can play our new games on the PS4.
No.
And Xbox is doing everything else. Like,
yeah. Xbox is definitely playing the long game, while PlayStation's just like, yeah, we're king of the castle. Yeah, but for how long? With that mentality, you're not going to stay there that long.
PlayStation is like the guy with the good dick, and teaches you like a jackass, and then Xbox is like
anything that you can say.
Xbox is that nice.
Anything you can say.
Xbox
you know what's a better one? He was prom king, and they just graduated high school, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm good.
That's where you were going.
Xbox was the nerd, and then now he's just late blooming.
Let me finish
He's like the guy with the good dick, man. What are you talking about?
Let me finish my analogy.
Go.
Analogy is trash.
I never had good dick, but whatever. So, and Xbox is the guy who is super nice and gets you the flowers. It's super cool. His dick game is kind of weak, but
still on dick game, man.
That's what it is. That's come on. You can't tell me that's not what it is.
Orlando's nickname is now Xbox.
He's consumer friendly.
That's not what it is. That's not what it is. So what? Mike is PS5.
Woo, that shit was funny, damn. You guys are hilarious.
I don't know about that analogy, Orlando, but I kind of sense where you're going with it.
I see where you're going with this. I agree with you, Orlando.
Just never do that again, please. Never.
All right, PS5.
That guy with the good dick. What the fuck?
I thought it was a good analogy.
Nah, man. prom king, and he sucks after high school.
Exactly.
Yeah, I personally don't understand how PlayStation 4 is not getting it. I mean, PlayStation is not getting it. Like, how can clouds not transfer over? That's idiotic. If they're gonna have backwards compatibility, you're telling me that I can't carry over my save file that's in the cloud, that's gonna get linked to my PlayStation 5, that's gonna also send shit to the cloud again. So it's kind of like, why can't I download my cloud save into my PlayStation 5 and continue playing where I left off?
Right.
I don't understand that.
It's like Orlando. It's like Orlando says. There has to be something in the coding where it just doesn't communicate without work, and they don't want to do that work.
They're fucking idiots. They have terrible engineers. Like, how are you not going to figure this out when you're thinking or creating the newest console?
I'm sure they could if they were worried about it, but they don't see the need.
I mean, also, I think you got to look at the companies in terms of overall, like, what they are as a company. Like, Microsoft is a software PC, company. Like, clearly they have engineers and developers that know their shit, that know how to integrate different technologies, different hardwares, all in one go. Sony has dropped, is an electronic company, but they're not really a software company. And they have dropped the ball time and time again when it comes to like their infrastructure. The PS3 is a disaster just for the simple back to it was built with a cell processor, and then nothing could transfer over. Then you look at the name, the PS name debacle, where supposedly the PS name debacle was because your name had a coding to it or something.
It was hard coded, so essentially. Right. Like, your name was it was fixed. Right. Compared to Xbox, where your name was just a covering of the actual hard-coded number that you were given. So essentially, when you created an account on Xbox, they just gave you a serial number. And then you created your name, and that was just like the coding of your serial number, essentially, if you think about it that way. Right. You could create whatever name you wanted and change it later on, because what changed was just the name, never the serial number they gave you. But but PlayStation had your name was hard coded. That's it. Like, and that was hard to change. Yeah,
and when you think about it, when you think about just that alone, right there, about like your username not being able to change and stuff like that. Like, usernames is something that Microsoft knows. Like, your login and usernames, that's they sell you PCs. They sell you Microsoft Windows accounts. They know how to incorporate that kind of like customer service behind in engineering. Sony does hardware. They weren't aware that was going to be an issue. Yeah. And time and time again, we're seeing their engineering capabilities fall short. I think it just has to do with like the company overall as a not prioritizing it, but what, like, it's like the Xbox is basically an up and coming basketball player, and their parents are retired all-stars. Like, they know how to play the game, like, because their parent company plays that game. And Sony is just that same comparison of like, okay, Sony's trying to play basketball, but their lineage is in I see Kratos like he's trying. Their lineage is in soccer, so they don't know the fundamentals. Whatever. Hey, look, better than my big dick analogy, all right? I'm trying out here.
You was gonna find a way to bring it back to that, huh?
Hey, calm down, PS5, calm down.
I feel at this point, dude, every company, I'm not even talking about like software. I'm not even talking about just in video games in general. I'm just talking about any company at this point in time has to have some form of software company in them. Because if you can't fix everything's so computerized, everything's so software oriented, system oriented, that if you don't have somebody creating or maintaining a system, your company is shit. So I feel like Sony, being one of the biggest players in the video game industry, needs to fix their shit, dude. They need to step it up and, grab engineers from everywhere. Pluck them out from places and get your shit straight. Like you're doing good hardware, but your UI, your system is shit. So it's kind of like you're kind of degrading your own hardware.
No, I mean I agree. I just think they just see dollar signs and they just don't see the point of fixing it. It's the same thing for Nintendo. Or
investing in it.
Yeah, it's the same thing goes for Nintendo. Nintendo's just like, online, never. We'll just sell you this thing for $20. You're gonna buy it anyway, and it just goes to show like the money is there, so why invest? Like, why get better? We don't have to get better. You keep buying it. People are not voting with their wallet, basically.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So since we're talking about wallet, let's talk about prices. Xbox Series X is $500. Xbox Series S is $300. So essentially, the Xbox Series X has a disc. Xbox Series S is a discless, different version, higher res version of the Series S, of the S. Some shit like that. And then PlayStation 5 has a PlayStation 5 disc version of the console at $500. The disc-less exact same console, just minus the disc, at $400. What do you guys think about the prices? Let's kick it off with Mike, because Mike is getting high.
What the hell?
I mean, what do you think about this comparisons? Like about the Xbox prices compared to the PlayStation prices, and Xbox having two completely different consoles, PlayStation having the exact same consoles. What do you think? Give me your feedback.
I think the Xbox having two different consoles doesn't really make sense. If one, is the Series X more powerful than the Series?
Yes.
Is the One X more powerful than the Series S?
Oh,
no,
the One X.
Or are they about the same?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I'm gonna say the S is better, but that's just me talking out my ass. I'm gonna look it up.
So it seems that the Series S, the new console Series S, is faster in GPU and is like more capable of like probably multitasking and stuff, but it's not a 4K console. The Xbox One X, which is this current generation Pro console, is a 4K console. So is it better? It depends, like in what aspect. For example, like the Xbox Series S cannot upgrade your games, like your current games, to 4K. But the Xbox One X, which is a current console, can upgrade your games to 4K.
So ridiculous.
But like I said, it's faster.
But it's not.
Go for it, Pedro.
So
it's not more powerful.
I'm reading here. This is just a quick excerpt because the most of the article is about the Series X, but the Series S compared to the Xbox One X, which is what Mike was asking, it says here that the Series S has just 4 teraflops of GPU, which is fewer than the One X, but it is much more powerful console, 4 times more powerful overall.
Oh.
So it is more powerful than the
Yes.
Xbox One X.
It's more powerful, but they're saying that it's got the 4 teraflops. Does that mean that?
But it don't got the teraflops. We need the teraflops.
What he said. Well, at the end of the day, okay, so it is more powerful.
So it doesn't have as good a graphics card, but everything else is better. That's interesting.
Right. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, it's gonna run everything better. Everything's gonna feel better. It's just not gonna look better. So,
which is what you want in a next generation console.
But supposedly, like PC nerds or like inside baseball, supposedly like the 1440p like ratio, like image wise, is what people normally like. Because PC has been having that like 4K/1440 for a long time, and that's the ideal way to play supposedly. Because while it's not 4K, you can do 120 FPS, and so your console's running super smooth and it looks pretty good.
Jesus, so, 120 FPS. That's gonna look crazy.
Or
crazy
60 FPS. You know, so ideally that's
Orlando,
the way.
What's FPS, man? Are you talking about first-person shooters?
Frames per second.
There you go. Yeah. So, normally in a film it's 24 frames per second for the listeners.
Oh, nice. Dropping that knowledge, Pedro.
Film buff Pedro over here. So I think that's not gonna be that much.
Is it
of
animation
a difference.
60 frames per second?
No. Video games are normally 30, but that's when they've been jumping to 60, and now Orlando's saying the 120, which is.
But what about animation? Animation is at what?
24. It's always been 24.
Oh, okay.
Continue, Orlando. We're so sorry.
What about Spider-Man? Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Was that at 12 frames per second?
No, it's still 24. It's just sometimes they would double up the frame to give it that stop motion-y look. But it's still at 24.
Nice. Thanks, Pedro.
Yeah, I mean, so
information.
They need to.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the end of the day, does 4K? Here's a question to you guys: does 4K matter to you guys?
Yeah,
I don't have a 4K TV, so it doesn't matter for me.
Absolutely, I have a 4K TV. Fuck yeah, that shit matters.
Whoa, Mike is a baller.
Yo, baller.
It's just 4K.
Right?
Yo,
paying for the stripper college tuition. Now he's paying for.
It's just a 4K TV. 4K TVs are like under $500 now. They're cheap.
Slinging dick and buying 4Ks. Damn.
Nigga, why though? Like, but for real, why?
Yo, PS5 though. Hey, PS5. I see you, PS5.
PS5 though.
I see you.
But yeah, 4K matters. 4K definitely matters.
But do you have a PS4 Pro?
No, that's why it matters. Because I'm not getting the full advantage of my 4K. I didn't want to upgrade like mid-generation if my PS4 was fine.
Yeah. No, my PS4 sounded like a fucking jumbo jet in my room, so I had to do the upgrade. It was bad, man.
Pedro, you have a PS5 and you have a 4K TV.
No, I have a Pro.
Shit.
If Pedro had a PS5, dude, he's holding out all of us because we could have been over there, touching it.
It'll be like that one
pictures.
meme, that meme where they duct tape the 3 and the 2 together.
I love that.
but yes, I have the 4 Pro, and I do have a TV that handles 4K, and I noticed the difference. I noticed the thing is my eyes adjusted to it, but I noticed the difference when it's not 4K anymore. Then I'm like, oh, this looks weird.
Damn.
Is it that much of a difference or no?
Yeah, it's kind of like when people were doing HD and they're like, HD's alright, and then you go to SD and you're like, ugh, the fuck is this? Your eyes adjust so much to Blu-ray. Same thing. I have Blu-ray movies. As soon as I pop in that regular DVD, I'm like, the fuck is this? You don't really notice the upgrade, but when you adjust to it, you sure as fuck notice the downgrade.
So
so I need that 4K, baby.
Yeah.
So for PS Pro has a performance thing where you can either pick FPS or over like frame rate over visuals. Do you ever do that?
No, I've never fucked with those settings. I just keep it default. Because I've heard that people are like, oh man, it looks great, but then the frame rate is shit. So it's just like, why would I want to do that? I'm playing like Ghost of Tsushima where I need a fucking block on time. I don't want frame rates dropping.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, do you ever adjust it to like, okay, give me 1080 with 60 frames?
Oh, I got you. No, I haven't actually. I didn't even know you can. Do you do that in the settings of the PlayStation or the game?
I don't know. I don't have a PS Pro. I know some games have like
you're right.
performance setting. I don't have I have a 4K TV, but I don't have a PS4 Pro. But when I got my TV, everything went to HDR mode, and even that was like, ooh, this looks nice. Like, and so I'm wondering what it looks on 4K, but I don't know.
Yeah, some of these games, like Spider-Man looks better on the PS4 Pro, right? I want to see Spider-Man. I want to, at the very least, on the PS4 Pro. Spider-Man, Red Dead. I didn't get to see on the. 4K matters a lot. I want to see that shit in 4K.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. All right, I just looked up how to do it. You do it in the settings. Well, settings of the PlayStation.
Yeah, so check it out. And I mean, report back. Well, not report back. We just talk casually off air.
Report back.
If anything.
Sir, yes, sir. I've tried it, sir. It's fucking cool, sir.
Report back. Orlando's on a roll tonight.
So what is your opinion, Pedro? Unless you're finished, Mike, are you done with your opinion?
Oh shit, that's how. Man, we got distracted as fuck.
No. Let's have Mike finish real quick. Do a quick recap.
So continue your thought about the Xbox.
I don't remember how my thought started, but overall,
what
the
you were
two
saying
SKUs.
about you didn't understand the two different consoles.
Yeah, the two SKUs on the they're just too different for me to understand why they're doing that with the Xbox. The PlayStation one I understand more because we're going digital, but you don't want to do that at the expense of like the console's power. At least I wouldn't think you did, especially since they're trying to be so consumer friendly. I think the pricing is about what we all expected. They probably could have gone a little lower on the digital version though.
Yep,
but overall, I'm more in line with Sony's SKUs, and the pricing isn't too bad.
No, what do you think, Pedro?
I agree with Mike. I mean, we even though Mike called that price correctly, you and me thought it was going to be $50 less for the digital, for the 5. But now that I look at the prices, it's only $100 difference instead of a $150 difference. I mean, I was always going to get the better one. I mean, I was always going to get the disc one.
Most expensive, yeah.
But now that I see the $100, I'm definitely going to do it because
there's no point.
There's no point because I actually like to buy my games on disc for the most part, and I want to use it for a 4K player for the Blu-rays, which is pretty much what I use my PlayStation for now. I mean, most of us, we don't really have Blu-ray players. We just use our PlayStation. So I'm going to keep it going because there's some 4K movies that I've been wanting to get that'll probably look awesome. So, yeah, I'm definitely getting the disc one. It's a no-brainer for me. That one's an easy go-to. And even though I'm not planning on getting the Xbox anytime soon, maybe later down the line, I would just get the higher performance one. I wouldn't get the Series S.
Yeah.
I know it's a bigger difference, but when you look at the like if you're gonna get next gen, you're gonna get next gen. You're not gonna get something that's just slightly
you're gonna
better.
have to replace. That's the whole point of a console. You don't want to have to replace your console mid console cycle.
Yeah. I mean, I've never had an Xbox, so I guess for me it could work, but I wouldn't want to do that. I might as well just go big.
Yeah.
What about you, Orlando?
Yeah, I agree with you guys about getting the consoles. Like, why buy a Series S when you can get the X? But my plan initially, like, I was thinking, you know what, man, like, I was thinking about waiting. Like, my original plan was, okay, I'll buy an Xbox. I'll buy a PS5 on Black Friday 2021. And like now, like I'm in this like making money mode. I work sometimes on weekends and stuff. I'm like, why not? Why not just buy it now? Like, what am I? It's only $500.
Like a boss.
Like, I don't, why not? But I want to see what happens. If I can get my hands on it, it's not too crazy. Maybe I'll buy it. Maybe not day one, but I'll have it around like holiday. And if not, then I'll wait until like November. But for the Xbox, I definitely want to wait until like Black Friday. Like I could wait. There's nothing on. 2
years from now.
2 years from now, yeah. Basically, wait for Black Friday and then buy it then. Like
and it'll be clumped with good games anyways. So
yeah. It's gonna be Halo Infinite or whatever. Probably not. Halo Infinite probably gonna come out around that time.
2 years from now, it should be bundled into it. But
2 years from now, yeah.
Yeah. The question is, Orlando, what do you think about the prices, the different SKUs? What's your take on that?
The prices. So yeah, it's like you guys said, like why buy the X when it comes to Xbox? I mean, why buy the S when it comes to Xbox? I think the Series S is not for gamers who are serious about gaming. This is a bike for parents and general consumers who are like, okay, my son wants an Xbox, or he wants a new next gen console. He wants a next gen console. Okay, let me do some research. Oh, this one is $200 compared to everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's for them. Or it's for the kid in college who's like, or the kid who's like doesn't have that much money and is like pinching pennies. Like $500 is $500, and that's a lot of money. So it could be that for that kid who literally mom and dad are like, okay, you can have one, and he's like, all right, mom, give me the PS5, and they're like, no. He's like, okay, I'll take the Xbox Series S. You know, and I think they even, you know, right currently, the word is that they're not manufacturing a lot of Series S's. They're mostly doing the X, and the word on the street is the rumor is because obviously they're taking a bigger loss on the Series S than they are on the Xbox One X, so that's why they're not making much of it. And the same thing goes for the PlayStation. PlayStation supposedly is making more PS5s with a disc than the digital. And maybe it's the same reason of like, why produce something that is going to be sold at a loss? You know? Yeah. Like, these consoles are going to sell out regardless. Why produce the one that we're losing money on a lot? You know? So, so I think the general, like, gamers are going to go for that. Gamers are going to go for the disc. Gamers are going to go for the PS4 that's $500. Gamers are going to go for the Xbox One X, and everybody else will go for the lower version. Mm-hmm. That's my call.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys mentioned this already, but now that you mentioned they're selling the S at a loss, you think pretty much the S was created just to get into Game Pass?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Just to get them hooked? Yeah.
I mean, think about it. It's like, I think at this point, Xbox is selling you Game Pass, and you know, right now I'm on Instagram. I follow a few games media, and I'm seeing photos of like people playing Halo on their Android. I'm seeing that, and it's just like, hey, and it's like hashtag the future's here. Hashtag like this is gaming, and you know, I haven't played it yet, but if it's anything just shy of good enough, you know, like, okay, let me try out Xbox Game Pass for $1. Shit, I could play this. I'm at school, what is school nowadays? But I'm at my grandma's house or something, or I'm at a parent's house who I don't want to be at, and I have my phone. Okay, let me play Halo. You know, like, that's definitely it right there. And then you play Halo on your phone, and you're like, damn, this runs pretty decent, but shit, I want it on my TV. What are my options? Oh shit, I can get into next gen gaming for $300. I'm in. Like, that's gonna, Xbox they're making all the right moves, man. Like they're playing a long game of chess, and like they're making all the right moves so far.
I agree.
They're future proofing themselves.
Right?
Yes, and that's what it is. And
even with their studios, like, right now all of us can agree that Xbox games are
shit.
Are mediocre to decent at best. Yeah. And when it comes to the three consoles, they have the worst exclusives. Yeah. When you compare it to Xbox, Switch, PS4. But they are investing, and most of their new studios, we haven't seen their shit yet. Like, they're playing that long game, man. Like, who knows? Like, they just need a killer app. They need a killer IP, a killer game that gets them all there, you know? And I think they're gonna get there. I'm optimistic for Xbox's future. I'm not even a person who is willing to buy a console. I'm just from all of the console manufacturers and all the top three, I'm more interested in Xbox more than anything, just as a talking point. Like, what are they doing? What are they gonna do?
Right.
Like, buying Bethesda is big money moves. So I'm like, you have my attention.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how do you even think they're gonna stop? I think they're gonna purchase more. They have a lot of money, dude.
They do.
They do.
They can do whatever the fuck they want.
They bought Bethesda for $7.5 billion. I think PlayStation was in the black, meaning they made a profit of like $8.5 billion. Like, they can't buy that kind of shit.
Oh,
they can't buy a Bethesda.
No. I wasn't, and I don't think they would either.
Like, when you think about it, like, Xbox bought a studio that is big enough to have its own conference.
True.
Xbox bought like a fucking behemoth of a studio. This is not just like a, granted, like we definitely think they overpaid for sure, but this is they bought a mini E3 conference.
Mm-hmm. It's like you said, they're future proofing. They overpaid to make sure they get it. Make sure they're still in the
definitely.
Game. Makes sense.
It's a crazy game, man. They're playing a crazy thing, and the prices. You know, it's funny. I would like to go to our first podcast we did about this. I think it was like the beginning of the year or sometime last year, where we all made our predictions for prices. I'm gonna find it, and next time we talk about this, I'm gonna include it. And I would like to see what our initial thoughts of pricing would be on these next gen consoles, to see how they stack up or compared to what we are right now. But yeah, it's crazy that Xbox is doing a completely different SKU, and they're still gonna be selling the S, which is gonna be if you think about it, the Series S is gonna be $300. How much cheaper can the S get?
That's a good question.
$150? You know, your entrance points at $150. A streaming box at $150. That's pretty good.
Yeah, with Game Pass, definitely worth it.
I would say $200. I don't think they would go $150.
$100 less with lesser technology? I don't think so, dude. They can't sell a Series Xbox One S, which is essentially what, an 8-year-old console, for $200. For that shit, I'll pay $100 more and get myself a next gen console.
That's what they're betting on. That's the point.
I think $200 sounds about right.
That is the point. That's what they're doing it. They're like, okay, you could come in. Like, I think Game Pass, like I said, Game Pass is the knock on the door, and the Xbox console family is everything else. So you get Game Pass on whatever fucking device you have, basically, because it's everywhere now, almost everywhere now. And then you're like, okay, what can I buy? And then you look at the Xbox One S, and you're like, okay, $200, and it's an old console, $100 more. You know, because at the end of the day, I know Xbox is saying like, oh, we're gonna make our games for everybody, for all our consoles, but you don't want to do that. Eventually, you want to move past that. So you need to get people to next gen. You need to get everyone moving, and you're not gonna do that by selling basically the S is an entry point to Game Pass and everything else, and you're not gonna be doing that by selling it at $150. You gotta get people to jump ship. I'm surprised they didn't discontinue it, but then that doesn't look pro consumer, and Xbox is very pro consumer.
Very true. That's very true. It's gonna be an interesting game, man. This next generation is gonna be very interesting, how everything plays out. So last but not least, what do you guys think about those 18 PlayStation games that are coming off the PS5, the history or whatever they called it? What do you think about that, Mike? I mean, we talked about this in our last podcast about the PS5 conference, but what did you think about the conference, since you had no thoughts? What do you think about the conference? What do you think about those 18 games?
The conference? I didn't watch the conference. I just watched like highlights.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? What do you think about the highlights? Whatever you saw. What do you think about that?
I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I don't know, maybe their games just look better, but to me, it was more exciting than watching what Microsoft had offered. Even just seeing what they had remasters, they had Demon Souls. I thought that shit looked fucking amazing.
It looks completely different.
It's completely different. And as someone that's played, like, I played and beat the first one, like, it's enough to make me want to replay this new version of Demon Souls. That shit looks so crazy.
You beat Demon Souls? The original Demon Souls? Oh, God, that game sucked. Nah, good for you.
Nah, man, that shit was incredible. You didn't like it?
Nah, I couldn't get into it. The level design...
The level design.
Me and Orlando were on the same fucking boat with that one.
Nah, I beat that game. I was into that game for a while. I got my girlfriend at the time to start playing. That's how into the game I was.
Whoa.
Damn.
In it.
But yeah, overall, I like the conference. I saw games that I was excited for. Like I said, that one, they showed more of Spider-Man. They showed Demon Souls. No, something else. I don't remember.
What about Harry Potter? Did you like?
No, I was kind of hyped for that too.
Hell Harry Potter? You're hyped for Harry Potter. That shit look good as fuck.
Yeah, that shit look kind of good.
Persona 5 in Hogwarts.
It looks like a Persona 5. At least that's the vibe we're all getting.
Sure, I thought it was good overall.
What do you think about Miles Morales? Are you gonna get it on PS4 or? Oh wait, before that, are you jumping ship to PS5 this holiday season, or are you waiting?
I'm trying to if I can get a fucking pre-order in.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Nigga, I was at GameStop. I was calling GameStop. I was calling Walmart. One of y'all niggas gotta have this shit. No,
you were like, give me Miles Morales.
You're like GameStop's only customer.
Shit, it's Mike. Let it go to voicemail.
You wanna come into our store? Shit, you better. All right, go ahead. Like, come on in
to get this fucking PS5. But yeah, I'm trying to get it day one.
And have you been successful yet or no?
Nah, not even close.
Damn.
Whenever they like offer it, I have like notifications set, so whenever like a site will have it, nigga, that should be done. If you're not on there, I guess in like the first 5 seconds, it's a wrap.
Damn.
I mean, so go ahead.
Go for it. Go.
No, supposedly like people like pre-orders went up, and then obviously they sold out really quickly, and then supposedly throughout the day they kept going back up. Like, all right, we got another batch of pre-orders. I don't know how that works.
I've never checked throughout the day like that.
Yeah, but I think just in that like 5-hour cycle, if you wanted to get one, you could have got one.
At work when all that was happening and everything was selling out, and yeah, like Orlando said, they kept coming back. When they came back, people were buying like 14, 15, like fucking PlayStations. They were scalping the shit out of them, so that was annoying the fuck out of me. I mean, I wasn't like Mike trying to get one, but just paying attention to it, I'm like, that's so fucked up. You know, people are there waiting and waiting and waiting for the next one up, and then these assholes coming and buying like a whole shit ton.
Just like
it's a whole toilet paper thing all over again. They're just trying to create the fucking shortage.
It's a weird thing where like man, like you got to be really desperate if you are out here buying scalped
people consoles. They do that every console generation though. People buy like a shit ton of the new consoles.
They do,
and then a lot of regular people can't get it, and then they're like reselling it online for like twice the price, 3 times the price.
Yeah.
I remember my experience ever buying anything scalped. I bought like scalped tickets one time, like off like a street vendor, and I was gonna go see Chance the Rapper, and one of my tickets didn't work, and I went with Christine, and so my ticket got scanned. So I went in, and I thought, okay, her ticket didn't go through, and then her ticket didn't go through, and then they wouldn't let me leave because if I left, I would like
holy shit.
So yeah, it was a whole debacle. So like scalp tickets, or I mean scalp anything is just never the right way to go. Like people are just so mean. Like people are just take advantage of like you know like people who want something like experience. Like it's sad.
Yeah. So Mike, when it comes to the Miles Morales, you if you get a PS5, you're gonna get it for the PS5, or are you just gonna wait? What are you thinking?
Even if I get a PS5, I think I'd still buy it for the PS4 just so I have both.
Whoa, it's like that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna play it twice because the save ain't crossing over.
And the save ain't crossing over. I mean,
but you know what? But wait, that's 2 easy platinums. Think of it that way.
Nah, man, I'm not doing all that for a platinum. Not again. But yeah, I'll probably get it for the PS4.
Well, what do you think? Are you gonna end up getting the PS5 version that comes with the Spider-Man, or just?
I'm not replaying Spider-Man. I'm not replaying Spider-Man. Nah, that's not happening.
Even if it's graphically upgraded and all that good stuff.
Nah, I don't like new Peter. I like old Peter.
Can we talk about that? That is so weird. Like, wait, why? Wait, is it only for the PS5 that they're changing his face for? That's fucking weird.
Yes.
They gave a reason, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah, Armando and I were talking about it today. Pretty much, long story short, they got a new mocap actor for the sequels.
That's what it was.
And they're saying that the old face doesn't match up to the new actor's mocap. So they redid the whole face to match the mocap actor's face more. And since the sequels are going to be a PS5 game, they're like, oh shit, this remastered version, to be consistent, has to have his face. Just so it could look, not a different thing. So they're just doing it backwards. But what I noticed in the footage is the new mocap actor doesn't work that well lip sync wise with the old footage. So it's like, I don't know, unless they fix it later. But that one video that they showed on IGN, I'm like, man, this lip sync looks shit. So
wait, the old lip sync looks shit, or the new lip sync looks shit?
Well, all they did was change the model of the face. The animation is still exactly the same for the remaster. But it looks like the model and the animation doesn't mesh, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but from the one video I saw, where he's talking to Doc Ock, I was like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with his mouth? It doesn't move right. But whatever. But that's pretty much what it is. They got a new mocap actor, and they're like, fuck it, that face doesn't look good on him. Because it doesn't match his actual expressions.
That makes sense. I mean, it makes sense.
It does. It's just such a drastic change that it's like, yo, what the fuck?
What is going on here?
Yeah.
Everyone was saying, oh, they're making him look more like Tom Holland to match the movies, blah, blah, blah. But they officially said that. In a nutshell, that's what it was.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Because my thing was, like, it has to be like a casting thing. I was like, is the actor not available? Like, what's happening? Like,
I was telling Armando, I thought that maybe he wasn't contracted for future games and he wanted more money for his likeness. That was my hypothesis. And they were like, yeah, fuck you, we'll get a new guy. I don't know.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, it could happen. What do you think? What do you guys think about that PS4 collection on the PS5? Of those 18 games, Mike, what's your opinion on that?
I think that's pretty good. They're all great games. Is Spider-Man one of the games? I know God of War is one of the games. Horizon is one of the games.
Spider-Man's not one of the games. They want you to get the remaster.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that would make sense.
You want to hear the list?
Go for it.
So, God of War, Bloodborne, Monster Hunter, Final Fantasy 15, Fallout 4, Mortal Kombat X, Uncharted 4, Ratchet and Clank, the remake, Days Gone, Until Dawn, Detroit, Battlefield 1, Infamous Second Son, Batman Arkham Knight, Last Guardian, Last of Us Remastered, Persona 5, and Resident Evil 7. Crazy list.
That's good as fuck.
It's pretty much the greatest hits for the most part.
Yeah.
I've played most of them, so it's useless to me. But
that's a good way to rival, I guess, Game Pass, because you have all these great first-party games for free when you get a PS5.
Yeah. Well, overall, you get it free, but you got to get the subscription service. When you get the subscription service, it opens up. Yeah,
it's inevitable though. You're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it work though? Is it like whenever you get it, you get these games, or is it for a limited time? Like
that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
First year, first couple months.
My hypothesis is it's there for good as long as you have the service. When you cancel the service, you can't play them anymore. But that's just me hypothesizing.
That's what I would assume as well, though.
So I would say out of those 18 games, if you never played any of them, which is rare for us since we're both PlayStation, all of us are
I don't
PC
think
owners.
Mike has played a lot of those games, right?
There's a bunch of those games I haven't played.
Damn,
and that I
so
would play.
That's really good for him then.
And I think for Xbox users, seeing that list, I think it does rival and outpace the current Game Pass in just terms of quality. Because there's just like God of War is far and beyond better than most of the games on Game Pass.
And you get it for free with the PS5? Jesus.
Yeah, Horizon is far and more better than most of the games on Game Pass. So like on that alone, that standpoint alone, like that collection is better currently, right? I think than Game Pass. I think Game Pass is a better service, but that collection is better if you have never played any of it. Like
so out of those 18, I haven't played 6 of them. That's so even then it's still good for me because there's 6 of them I haven't played yet.
So Mike, we talked about this now that we're on the PlayStation Plus collection. We talked about it last podcast, but obviously we want to get your take on it. What is your take about, it's been obviously suggested and not rumored, but just highly suggested by media and gaming media that they should eliminate PS Plus and just, have it tied into PS Now or something. What is your take on the future of PS Now and PS Plus?
Wait, they're saying they should just eliminate PS Plus, period?
And just have it PS Now or put them together. What is your take on their services?
Pretty much we were thinking that the monthly games, we're thinking that's going to be cut out.
Within the next console generation? Or just eventually?
I think as soon as the 5 starts, we won't get the monthly games. That's what I think. I think these 18 right out the gate is their way of saying this is all you're going to get.
I don't think so. I mean, I know they're not the most consumer-friendly company, but that removes like almost all of the value of PlayStation Plus. Because the biggest draw for PlayStation Plus is that you're getting 2 free games a month, along with being able to play online and all this other bullshit.
Okay, what if the new selling point is, okay, PlayStation Plus is gone. Now you get your collection that you paid for, and now it's PS Now, which you get all your backwards compatibility. You get your backwards compatibility essentially to PS Now. You get games added quarterly, brand new games added quarterly, and then you have this amazing collection of games. I think So, what do you think is the better service, PS Now or PS Plus? Let's just talk about that. What's a better service in your mind?
PS Now. I think eventually, yes. They'll stop doing the PlayStation Plus with the 2 games a month at some point. I don't think it's going to be, at least not in the first half of the next generation. But I think eventually, especially the way Microsoft is moving, they're not going to have a choice.
Right. And I mean, even Microsoft is, I don't think they're eliminating gold, but I think they stopped selling the year for gold or the 3 months. They did something where they stopped selling.
I think they stopped doing the year for Game Pass as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think you still buy that. I don't know. I saw it on. I've been looking for deals.
They stopped doing the annual pass for the annual pricing. You can only do like month to month.
Right. And I think it's to deter people from getting gold. Like they just want you to get Game Pass Ultimate that it has everything. So like they're trying to limit the market and your ways of your purchasing power. So that way you are kind of like, well, I can't find gold anywhere. Might as well just get now Ultimate that has everything. And I think PlayStation is gonna do something similar.
Yeah, they have to respond to the market, and Microsoft is they're setting themselves up to eventually take over the market.
And I feel they have to wrap that. They have to bundle those two together. There's no point of keeping them separate at this point. PS Now is not gonna get bigger or better. It's not gonna get more subscribers. It's been 10 years? 12 years that they've had this service, and it's still like the low 10, 15 memberships. million memberships?
It has. I think it has more. At least last time there was like a report on it. It does have more subscribers than Xbox, but PlayStation has more consoles. So,
which makes sense.
Yeah. So I think
at some point these two services have to get bundled together. And honestly, I wouldn't mind paying an extra $10 or $5 a month on the PlayStation Plus to get this.
Huh?
I mean, a year, because I think our yearly service is what, $60 for PS Plus.
Yeah.
And if they make it $70 or $80, I think there's still value in that service.
PS Now is I think $60 a year. Am I right, Mike, or $100 a year?
PS Now is $60 a year.
So my predicament is that they sell.
I could be wrong. I don't remember.
But if they do that, if they do what Pedro says, let's say they eliminate the two free games, that's money they're not giving away to give you 2 free games. They're just reduce their subscription bundle pricing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think it just becomes a overall value to be paying $80 a month. I mean $80 a year, and you get these 2 great services, but you just don't get the free games anymore.
I don't understand. How then? Where's the only value in that case for PS Plus is just to play online?
Well, and also the discounts you get from the store.
Ain't nobody paying so I can get discounts. Black Friday is still a real thing.
It's true.
Yeah, but you have to wait once a year. You have to wait once a year for that.
Wait, what'd you say?
Yeah, wait once a year for Black Friday. PS.
There's sales all the time, though. There are sales all the time.
PlayStation sales are basically Black Friday sales at this point.
Yeah, PlayStation has like a new random flash sale like every other weekend or some shit like that. So I wouldn't see the value of bundling those 2 services and then pricing it like that.
Why not? You get to play a whole bunch of games for free with your subscription.
But again, the main draw. Well, half of the draw for PS Plus is the free games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people have it for the games.
You can't take that away.
Well, but you get PS Now. You get the PS Now library for bundled up with the PS Plus.
Nah. I mean, yes, eventually, but I think the pricing would probably be the same.
Okay, so I just looked it up. As of April of 2020, PS Now has actually 2.2 million subscribers. Can you guys guess what Xbox Game Pass has?
5.
Xbox Game Pass, as of the buying of ZeniMax, has 15 million subscribers.
Oh, that's more than I thought. I was thinking 9. That's definitely more. Shit. Damn. Triple. It's triple what PlayStation got.
I'm telling you, man, PS Now as a standalone is not going to survive. It has to get bundled.
Yeah.
It has to be turned into something else, because then it just becomes an irrelevant expense to them.
The thing that I think that people get the Now to play the game that they want, and then they cancel it. I don't think they get the year. That's probably why. Like what I did. I got in, I played a couple games, and I canceled. And then I felt like playing something, so I got back in and I did it. It's not a long-term thing for me. It's not like a Netflix where you just keep it forever.
Yeah. And I think I do think that's a drawing point of Xbox. Like you get it, and then they have enough games there that make you want to stay.
It keeps you, yeah.
And then they keep adding to it. Like Doom Eternal's coming October 1st. Well, it is October 1st. Doom Eternal is on Game Pass today.
Well, essentially, all Bethesda games are going to be there now.
Right, but as of right now, like only a few are.
And Doom Eternal is apparently a great game. Mm-hmm. So if you have Xbox Game Pass, you literally just got a great game.
Yeah, I definitely want to play that one.
Subscription, of course. I mean, I don't know. PlayStation needs to do something with their services. They can't keep it separately, and they just need to give you more value for what you're getting. And if they're gonna copy Microsoft and anything, it's gonna be that bundling PS Plus with PS Now or some variation of that.
I think
services can't be alone.
At some point, they can't just sit there and coexist like that. At some point, you do have to merge and go more towards the model that Microsoft is offering, because consumers, it's obvious. If they have 15 million, it's obvious that's what consumers want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
PlayStation can only avoid that for so long.
I just think PlayStation doesn't have the cap to do what Microsoft is doing. They announced already when they announced the PS Plus collection, they said that this is not going to be a streaming thing where we're going to add games to it. We're not adding PlayStation 5 games now.
The PS Now, yeah.
To PS Now on day one. We don't see that as viable. We don't see that as making it financial sense. And so Xbox is like, no, we're going to add everything. And we talked about it on the last podcast of like, I think what Sony is doing, it makes sense because Jim Ryan said it, like these games are costing $100 million to make. We're not going to get that money back through putting it on Xbox PS Now. Mm-hmm. But you see quality though when they put out a game. Last of Us 2 is a fucking masterpiece in cinema, basically. Mm-hmm. And then with Game Pass, you see them being like, okay, everything's coming to Game Pass, but then we saw Halo Infinite and it looked like trash. Right. Clearly, like resources or something are being, and it's being stretched out because also it has to run on everything.
It's the quality versus quantity argument right now.
Yeah, so we're seeing that like, hey, you're not gonna get it on PS Now, but these are fucking immaculate games. Expect quality.
The day that Xbox starts pulling games like that, that's when PlayStation's in trouble. But until then, I think they'll be okay.
Look, man, you gotta think about this. Oh, sorry, let me go for it.
I think they will. I think with the buying of Bethesda, I think Doom, Prey, Dishonor, I think those games are gonna be that quality, especially when they get I think when when Bethesda gets a fucking good engine for fucking Fallout and Skyrim and Starfield, obviously what they've been using has been garbage for RPGs. When they get a fucking good engine for their RPGs, that's it. You are going to be on the level of PlayStation in terms of quality, because those two franchises, I don't know anything about Starfield, but those two franchises are iconic. They're just bad quality. Mm-hmm. And I think Xbox is that bump that they need to bring up that quality. So once they have that quality, that's it. They are on par with PlayStation in terms of quality games.
And at this point, they could also bring back Dishonored, which Dishonored never made money. And I don't think Bethesda was going to throw away money at a game that never made money. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So with Xbox Game Pass and the backing of Xbox, they could say, oh, we don't care if nobody buys this game. We just need content on our Game Pass. And Dishonored is a great series. So now these people will have the chance to make this game again. Make part 3. And it goes straight to Game Pass. And it's going to be a great game. It might not be... Well, I mean, I think all of them have been great games. I don't think none of them blew my mind. But you're still going to get that for free on Game Pass, which is insane. And that's a value. That's a great value if that does happen,
I mean, Phil has stated that he's not going to interfere into Bethesda's like workings, but nah, you gotta go in there and change shit up.
You're not gonna shove shit down their throat, but you're gonna be like, hey, I want you to make Dishonored 3. Here's 80 million to go make it.
Right, and I think even if like, okay, hey, what are you guys working on? Okay, Starfield, Fallout. Okay, can you make Dishonored? No. Okay, can we give it to somebody else? Because we got 23 studios waiting for something else.
Yeah,
and absolutely. So, yeah, I think
it's just Bethesda is not afraid to not make money anymore. That's the freedom Microsoft is giving them. You know what I'm saying? They could just pump out games, and they're just spending Xbox money, and that's all that matters to them. You know, like now all the studios they have the freedom to make whatever they want, and that is freedom they never had before because they had to be worrying about making profit on the games.
I mean, that's true, and if you think about it, if you develop all of Bethesda's properties and you start today developing everything, and then siphoning their properties to other Xbox studios, of like, okay, Rage, not that great. Can we take it from you? Like, are you passionate about it? Not really. Cool. We'll take it. We're gonna take Prey. We'll take Dishonor. These are games that are, you know, the middle tier of Bethesda games. We'll take Evil Within, I believe. Yeah, Evil Within. And we will work on that. You guys focus on your Fallout, your Elder Scrolls. That's on you guys. Focus on your Doom.
But the good thing is that Bethesda has 8 or 9 studios, something like that, and they all could work on those games themselves without the fear of not being able to make it because or the fear that they have to make profits in them. You know.
Right, but what if Microsoft was like, hey, don't worry about it, we'll take it, if you know, and we'll make the sequels to those games. You focus on making this fucking AAA. You make this tens, you know. And if they do that, I think that's a winning strategy as well. It's like I said, like it's like the Netflix thing. Like they'll pump out all of these games back to back to back, and then you're stuck on Game Pass, and then you don't leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about buying the next game to come on Game Pass because you have the fucking Bethesda, who maybe once a year there is a quality Bethesda game going on Game Pass.
Yeah. So I was doing a scenario. Let's say that Xbox Game Pass has 50 million subscribers. That is at $15 a pop. Xbox is making $750 million a year. That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
If only 50 million people sign up, and I think they could hit that number this gen.
That's a lot of money. But then when you look at games,
that doesn't sound like a lot. That doesn't sound like a lot at all. It's not. Cause it's a lot of money. But then when you look at Spider-Man sold like $10 million at mostly 60 a pop. Spider-Man made $600 million just off of one game. Like you said, Xbox is playing the long game. Xbox is playing that, like, you're gonna come in, we're gonna make revenue over time, and that's what their hope is. But then if they do have all these AAA companies and AAA titles, and AAA games cost as much as movies these days, it's not cost intuitive for them to have everything on Game Pass. I don't think that is. Now that I think about it, I don't think that's a model they can sustain. It's not possible, especially with as many studios, and now that they have Bethesda and all those high profile studios they snatched up. There's no way they can do that forever.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think that's why they're trying as fast as possible to get Game Pass on everything, so then they can do that forever. It's like Netflix. Netflix is constantly in the red. They're constantly losing money because they're fucking constantly making shit. But their investors are pleased. They constantly get money like back into them.
They know that
Xbox is.
I was gonna say that they know the world is addicted, so they'll be fine.
As long as they keep getting that invested money, like at least Netflix keeps getting that like investment money to go back in and just keep turning that wheel, Xbox is hoping to do the same thing.
You know, as soon as your company becomes a verb, investors are gonna invest in you, dude. It's as simple as that.
It's true.
They're gonna throw money at you. Like, yeah, you're in a public consciousness. Just keep it going, you know. And I think if once Xbox Game Pass gets everywhere, they are going to be the new Netflix. You would think, if it gets everywhere, if Switch users get Xbox Game Pass and it works for them, that shit will be crazy.
That's
Imagine playing Doom or Halo on a Switch, dude, on the go. It's insane. And if it runs okay, why? Like, I bet you a lot of Switch users are gonna get it.
And we've seen that time and time again. Nintendo, like, Switch users are fucking gun home for games. Animal Crossing is one of the best selling games of, regardless of console, of the year. Their games sell. If they get Game Pass on it, like, yo, add. You want to get 15 million people on Game Pass? Put that shit on a Switch. You'll get to 40 for sure.
Yeah, and if you think about it, that's the Switch users. They don't have the capabilities of running graphics intensive games. This is their way to do that. Game Pass.
And it'll work too because Nintendo doesn't really have like a version for that, because they have supposedly the Nintendo, thing that you pay yearly. But I mean, if you look at the game list on that, it's like we finally got Donkey Kong Country after all this time. The fuck? So it's like, the Game Pass is a no-brainer for Switch users.
Right.
Even if you can only play half the games because of technical issues, that's already that much more than the Nintendo. I don't even know what the fuck it's called. The Nintendo service gave us.
Yeah. And let's say you get all these kids, right? Who, let's say 5 years from now, like my kid, right? My kid 5 years from now is gonna be 10 or 11 because he's 6 right now. And if there's a Switch with a Game Pass, he'll get to play Halo and get introduced to the Halo universe.
And he's gonna hate it.
And all these Switch users will get introduced to Halo and all the other Xbox games and Forza and all this crap. And they're gonna be like, wow, all these games are cool. Where did they come from? Oh, Xbox? Shit. Maybe, like you said, Orlando, let me get the $300 console. Let me get the whatever price console. And that, like you said, Game Pass is a gateway drug to all these people into the ecosystem. And once you're in there, you're in there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're hoping for. I mean, I agree with Mike. It's not sustainable, the model. And obviously, Jim Ryan from Sony has said that it's not sustainable. But they have the capita to lose money when it comes to this. Like,
and they probably won't lose money because so many verticals in Microsoft that make money.
Yeah, like, so it's just like they're maybe willing to lose money, but this is just one piece of their pie. Sony, remember PS3? Like, there was talk of like Sony going bankrupt. Like, there was talk of Sony like losing it all, and PS4 saved it. There was talk of Nintendo becoming a publisher because the Wii U was a debacle.
That was terrible.
Microsoft is the only company that can throw money, lose money, and stay in the game because it has more sources of revenue, and the other consoles can't do that.
Yeah, nobody can. None of those can. It's gonna be interesting this generation, guys. See what happens. Any last thoughts?
No.
Well, day one.
I hope you get it, Mike. I'm gonna come over to your house and look at it.
Everybody's invited.
Mike, if I get one, I'll sell it to you for $600.
You know I know where you live, right?
That's true. That is true.
There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us know your thoughts about everything we talked about. What do you think is gonna happen this generation? Is PS Now, PS Plus bundled? Is Game Pass gonna be on the Switch? Let us know what you thought. Are you buying the consoles day one? Which one are you getting? We'd love to know your thoughts. Till next time.
Bye-bye.
Outro.
Later, guys.